Hello everyone. Before we get started, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Red Calico, and I really like anime, manga, and mana, so that's kind of what this channel is going to be all about. So yeah. So the story we'll be focusing on today is called Kill the Villainess. It's an Otome Isekai mana, and if you're not familiar with Otome Isekai, it's basically a subgenre of shoujo almost, and the protagonist either reincarnates, transmigrates, or reverses time in a fictional world. So let me introduce the characters. Eris is the one who transmigrates from South Korea to this romantic work, and she is the fiancé of the crown prince and is considered a villainess. We also have Helena, who is a daughter of a ruined count. She is the love interest of the crown prince, red boy, and priest man. Now, Eris isekais into this romantic world, and she struggles with being vilified while longing for her past life. So I'm not going to focus on the whole story, but I'm going to detail why this is a deceptive tale of power, as you've read in the title, and why oftentimes we are misled to antagonize the wrong person. So this scene is from chapter 6, where Helena trips and the crown prince assumes that Eris is the one who pushed her down. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the crown prince is an absolute piece of trash, and it should be very obvious that he is the one at fault because he assumed violence without even trying to communicate with either Helena or Eris. But there were a lot of comments criticizing Helena for not speaking up in the situation. And just in general, in Otome Isekai, people tend to side with the reincarnated protagonist, and they tend to see everyone else who doesn't side with her as villains. A lot of the resentment for Helena is due to the fact that she ostensibly stole Eris's fiancé, and that she doesn't use her privilege of being favored by the crown prince to protect our protagonist. So why didn't she speak up? Why didn't she use her privilege to protect Eris? Let me remind you that the crown prince objectifies Helena and fell in love with her submissiveness rather than Helena herself. Even Red Boy sees Helena as a source of comfort rather than a human being. This mana is set in this faux European world featuring a very strict class system, and unfortunately, Helena has no power over these men. People read this story and they undermine the struggles Helena has gone through as a woman being born of commoner class. In Helena's backstory, her mother instructs her to act ignorant to survive. Her mother understands that being born beautiful is more of a curse than it is a privilege when you don't have any power. And because these men of higher social class want to exert dominance, Helena's only way to survive is to act blissfully unaware of her surroundings. Unlike Eris, Helena doesn't have the privilege of speaking up against the crown prince and acting out of line. She tragically depicts the duality of being a muse. So let's talk about Red Boy, Priest Man, and Mr. Trash. The male leads in this work aren't written with much autonomy, so they feel like lifeless drawings on a page. This doesn't make their heinous acts against Eris or Helena okay, it just holds less significance for the readers. Helena, however, is written with much more autonomy and consciousness, so the readers expect her to act differently. The audience expects her to act out against these men like Eris. The reality is that Helena acts submissive because she is conscious. Again, Helena does not have the privilege of lashing out against the royal family. So why does Helena keep attempting to be Eris's friend if she is aware of her status? The only person Helena can relate to is Eris. So much of Eris's life is influenced by these volatile men despite being born of a high status. And she's one of the few who knows the cruelty of the misogynistic prince. For Helena, there's this conflict of wanting to maintain this innocent and carefree act versus consoling and talking to Eris about their situation as women. Helena says that she believes in a future that will not happen to Eris nor Helena anytime soon. This all goes to show that Kill the Villainess is a deceptive tale of power that provokes the audience into hating a powerless muse. The romantic interactions between Helena and the male leads sugarcoat the actual issues regarding their relationship. The fact is that the male leads are secluding and using Helena to escape their own issues, and although Helena is not always morally right, she is rational in her decision to remain silent. Kill the Villainess shows the desire of an Isekai protagonist to return to her past life while depicting the muse's lack of freedom. Anyways, if you stuck around, thank you for watching. Please check out this manga if you haven't. It's a unique take on Otome Isekai and it's really interesting to read.